Brother,
Yes?
my acolyte was trained as a copyist.
All right, do you have the hortus tuus with you?
Yes, we've got it right here.
I assume that your acolyte will know how to translate that properly into Latin?
Good. He'll do what he can.
I don't want any mistakes. A copyist is not only supposed to imitate, but also interpret, understand, translate. All right, and what about the quill?
Yes, a good quill, if I may say so. Thank you for your time. Here is the hortus tuus. When can I pick up the translation of the first page?
In 7 days.
7 days? Is that your way of thanking me for all the trouble I went to?
Thanking you? If memory serves you, I already thanked you.
And I supplied you with food during working hours.
Ah, now I get it. That's the price I have to pay. Give your translation preference ahead of the other 40 I've got to do. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No one said a word about prices. We're not at the market.
Exactly. This is a library, one with a strict order of work to do, one which I respect, as do you.
I had merely hoped to see the gesture I made rewarded with one from you.
Is that right? What? Oh, all right. Give me that silly book. Let's see. There you are, the translation and the book. I hope we're quits now.
As far as I'm concerned, yes.
Then go. Now. I have a lot to do.
Brother,
Yes?
my acolyte...
All right.
Yes,
I assume that your acolyte...
yes. One could even say that Greek is my novice's second tongue.
I hope so, to the benefit of the library's archives. Does he have his quill with him?
Yes, a good quill, if I may say so.
I see that the child has what's necessary to pass the exam. The time has come to test your skills. Come with me, boy. All it takes is one glance to see that it's rather rudimentary. And I see that cleanliness is not one of your virtues, boy.
Huh?
You've also overlooked several details in the miniatures. Do you know what it means to be a copyist? I'm sorry, but I cannot accept that.
Unacceptable for a copyist? He's not an apprentice, I presume?
What
you're holding in your hands is obviously not on the same level of work as from someone who's worked here for years. I presume you'll make efforts to hone and polish his skills until the boy deserves to share in the fame of the copies made at this abbey.
All right, he's accepted. You can enter the scriptorium whenever you please, my boy.
The two of you can enter the scriptorium, is what you surely wanted to say.
What's that? Didn't I make myself sufficiently clear? The scriptorium is solely for the copyists in our order. The rules...
Yes, but Bruno is my acolyte, so you'll understand that he must go wherever I go, and vice versa. If he wishes to enter the scriptorium, then I'll escort him.
But the rule...
Just like you, I am bound to them.
I see we have a conflict here.
Not the slightest, brother. You have accepted my acolyte as a copyist, and, thanks to the rule that binds me to Bruno, I can enter the scriptorium with him.
I don't see that very clearly.
The rules are there to relieve us of the burden of always having to make the right decision. Your very words.
All right already. You can come into the scriptorium.
I don't see anything special. It's locked. The motifs are a bit chaotic. That doesn't work.
It looks just like the rope from the sensor.
I'm not sure, Bruno, but keep in mind, we're in the scriptorium. What could we find here except for ink, books, paper, and quills?
Yes, but...
All that is insignificant now. The chain of events has led us here. That's why I feel it's important for us to examine this desk.
I still think the stain is the same.
Sometimes an X can mark a certain place. In this case, it's an ink mark. I won't be able to open it without having the key in my possession first. This lock secures the Good day, brother.
Yes, it's almost perfect. Yes. Oh, I know you. Your brother Leonardo de Toledo.
I'm delighted that you know me. And you are?
I'm Thomas from Rotterdam.
What are you copying at the moment?
It's a tract about little-known minerals. It also refers to topics that can be found in other works, a point that manifests itself as one of the virtues of literature. It tells us that reading a book doesn't end on the last page. Isn't that marvelous? It's as if books talked to each other and reached agreements as to how they administrate the information. Do you follow me? You take care of this, I'll take care of that. You refer to me, and I'll refer to you.
Oh yes, I get the point. Which books do you use for reference?
Well, several works. For example, Orcurita is cited in the paragraph I'm copying at the moment. It's supposed to be a stone with, well, let's say unusual properties. Yet no mention is made here of its mythological origins. Any reader would think that the stone exists in reality, but it's really nothing more than a legend.
Is that so?
Now, if you want to find out something about the Orcurita, I'd have to refer to the tract on alchemy by Abul Azreth. And although the tract is very informative, it's based primarily on speculation, which means if we want to learn more about the stone, then we could...
Pardon me, brother. I don't doubt for an instant that your narrative is terribly interesting, but at the moment I don't have the time for obscure stones and tracts on alchemy.
Orcurita. Orcurita.
I see there's a desk that looks like it's been abandoned.
Which one? Oh, that desk.
Do you know who sat there?
I don't remember. There are so many of us copyists here and so much work for us to do.
That there's hardly time to take your eyes off the books. Isn't that so?
Yes, that's how it is.
I thought you might know to whom that desk belonged.
I already said I don't know. I don't maintain any close contact with the other brothers. I spend only as much time as necessary with them. I greet them, we chat a bit, we share the table. You follow me? But I don't keep watch over them, and I don't intend to. Do you get my point?
There's no reason to get upset, brother. It was only a question.
And all I did was answer it. Is there anything else? As you can see, I'm rather busy.
Can you tell me anything about Anselmo?
Sure, I'd be glad to. You're investigating his death, aren't you?
I am, indeed.
I'm at your convenience.
Did he have some sort of enemy at the Abbey?
Enemy? What do you mean by that?
Are you familiar with the word friend?
Of course I am.
It's the opposite of that.
Not that I'd know of, no. Although, to be honest, he certainly tried hard enough. And anyway, we're all only human, you know? Who can say they're free of vices, know what I mean?
Yes, I think I know what you mean. There are rumors of this and that about his accident.
Oh yes, the idea that it happened because a rope was frayed probably isn't exciting enough, is it?
Do you have a different theory?
I don't know. I wasn't at the Abbey when the tragedy occurred. But the way I see it, the bell tolled Anselmo's last hour. It's that simple.
Was he very old?
Not at all. He was younger than you. But no one ever knows when death is going to come for us. Perhaps his clock ran a bit fast.
Brother, do you find it amusing that a brother of your community had to die a horrid death?
No, you're right. I was a bit macabre. It's just that Anselmo, well, he was...
Yes, I know. He wasn't very popular at this abbey. Do you think the devil could have had something to do with his death?
The devil? Well, why should the devil occur to me? Something like the Prince of Darkness must be accorded respect, just like any other enemy.
That would be all for the moment. May I introduce you to your new fellow brother? This is Bruno, my acolyte.
So that's how it is. Marcello asked for reinforcements, huh? Was the exam difficult?
No, I mean it was... But I had help from... No, I mean it was... Not really.
That's all right. This scriptorium is full of books just waiting to be copied. A little help is always welcome.
Bruno would appreciate it greatly if you could give him a few bits of advice for his new job.
Sure, I'd be glad to. How can I help you?
To learn a bit more about the profession.
If you've passed Brother Marcello's exam, I suppose I won't be able to give you much advice. I can tell you one thing, boy. It's a lot more than simple drudgery. It's an art, you know? Once you've copied a number of books, you realize how splendid literature is, how the ink influences the knowledge itself, sometimes in a subtle way and sometimes directly. Being a copyist puts you on a higher level than that of the other brothers. It makes you a creative person, you follow me? Naturally, it requires a lot of time and a lot of work, but it's worth it.
What does one get in return?
To become acquainted with the thoughts of great authors, the lives of the saints and martyrs, and to know how the world was before the arrival of our Lord. It's fascinating to read about classic Rome, ancient Greece, and pre-Christian cultures, not to mention the pleasure of reading and copying great works at the same time. For instance, here we have the Book of Apollonius. For me, the writing seemed to be simplistic and superficial, but there was also the sensation of moving through the pages he wrote, of seeing the traces other copyists had left behind. That's priceless. Do you follow me?
I follow you. I see you enjoy your work.
Oh, yes. Books are the source of knowledge. We can learn everything about life without ever taking our eyes off them. For example, did you know that in the Egyptian Empire they knew of an oil whose flame didn't go out when it was burnt?
Is that so?
Yes, St. Augustine wrote about it.
Well. In my opinion, one must also head out into the world to know what has not been written.
Really? I've heard that you've travelled a lot. What have your journeys taught you? Do you know how many ways there are for one soldier to kill another, or how leprosy consumes a person's flesh?
One never knows when it might be useful to know how to recognize the signs of evil. I hope
so too.
I'll let you get...
It was a pleasure. Fine. Where was I? Oh yes, here.
Egidio?
No, I don't have the key. Why?
Because I would very much like to see his cell, and you're the guardian of the keys. Only you can open the door for me.
I have a lot to do. We'll have to put it off till much later.
When is later?
I have no idea. I have to clean up the cemetery. All because of the rainstorm, I have to go back to the stables to take care of the animals, and I have other things to do I don't even know about yet. That's why I can't say when later is.
If you really had nothing to do with Anselmo's death, then you could accommodate me a bit. I find your refusal to help me rather suspicious.
I had nothing to do with Anselmo's death.
If that's the case, then do your work.
But I had nothing to do with Anselmo's death.
Yes, I heard you the first time. Just do what a gatekeeper is supposed to do. Open the gate.
All right, follow me. You can go in if you like.
Let's take a look at Brother Anselmo's last reading material. Solomon's Song of Songs.
What is it about?
About nothing at all, Bruno. Nothing at all. The Song of Songs. Let's see where the ink mark has led us.
What's inside there, Master?
Nothing except an ink pot and a parchment with a simple drawing.
Were you able to find anything on the parchment? Is there a clue?
No, it's merely a parchment. And now that's peculiar. Come over here, Bruno.
What have you discovered, Master?
Something's caught my attention. It might not be anything important, but...
Brother Leonardo, we're locking up.
Gottfried, what brings you here?
Oh, what have you got there?
Nothing. Tell me, Gottfried, Anselmo was the gatekeeper, wasn't he?
Yes, of course he was.
If that's the case, then why did he have the key to this desk in his possession? As far as I know, only copyists are allowed to be here.
Oh, hasn't anyone told you?
Told me what?
Anselmo was a copyist before he became gatekeeper.
Is that right? It's the first I've heard of it.
Oh, how should I put it? The Abbey caught wind of his attitude toward the rest of his brothers and decided that, which way can I put it? He had earned a lesson in humility.
I see. Is there perhaps anything else you've forgotten to tell me?
No. Nothing I know of.
Are you sure? Bells.
Please excuse me, brother, but the bell has already rung for Vespers.
All right. We'll talk about this again some other time.
That Gottfried is a bit odd.
Yes. There are too many mysteries to this matter. Let's go, Bruno. We must prepare for the evening meal. Today, I was invited to dine at the abbot's table.
Et tibirre de turbotunim Jerusalem, id Dominum in somnu pacis, et nomine Pater et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
And now, Brother Leonardo, how is your investigation coming along?
Proceeding well, Father, although the path is a difficult one.
I see. You've been carrying out investigations the whole day and haven't found a thing. Anselmo should never have died, and nothing would please me more than closing this chapter. Do you get my point?
That's precisely what I wanted to talk about with you.
About Anselmo's death?
No, about chapters and books. If you would allow me to enter the library, I could...
This is Nicholas, our blacksmith. Perhaps he can tell you something interesting about the frankincense censer.
I hadn't had the pleasure of making his acquaintance yet. I don't think he was in the Abbey today.
He was on the road for several days.
Oh, that's interesting.
I can't believe my eyes! You're Leonardo del Toledo? The famous Leonardo del Toledo?
Descriptions like that are enough to make you blush.
Oh, I hope I haven't upset you.
Quite the contrary. I'm simply not accustomed to such compliments.
Oh, you're joking, aren't you? Your fame precedes you. Then, well, suddenly, you're right in front of me. Oh, brother Leonardo del Toledo at our Abbey. Well, how should I put it? I'm finally getting to meet you. Say, you're surely here because of what happened with Anselmo, right? Such a sad thing. Oh well, sad for some. Others couldn't stand him. Mind you, no one wished he would die, did they? After all, we're all brothers of Christ, who was also murdered, as I just recall.
Yes, but he died to save us. We don't know the reason for Anselmo's death yet.
That's my opinion too.
Somehow that doesn't come as a surprise. You're the blacksmith at the Abbey, aren't you?
That's right. Nicholas is my name. If you need anything, just tell me. Fact is, I'd be very grateful if you did. My goodness, brother Leonardo del Toledo actually asking me for something. It would be an honor.
I'll make a note of that.
Really? Thanks very much.
I'm the one who should be grateful.
No, I am. All right. I'm sorry.
I haven't asked for a thing yet.
It's true. I'm deeply touched.
The abbot told me you haven't been at the Abbey for the last few days.
Yes?
May I ask the reason why?
Of course you can. I need materials. You know the story. You can't find iron among rocks. Get it? Iron among rocks? Oh.
Yes, that's quite witty.
I've questioned other smithies in the area about the broken frankincense censer.
Oh my, it's gotten late.
Oh right, yes, you must be exhausted. What do you think of continuing our discussions tomorrow? We could exchange impressions. I could report on the conversations with other blacksmiths. I've got so many questions to ask you.
Tomorrow actually will be the day for questions, and you too shall have to answer some. Bruno, come on, wake up! Did you go anywhere last night?
I don't know. I think so. I had to go to the loo. I think.
I get the point. Tell me you locked it afterwards with the key.
Key? What key?
How could you let that happen?
Let what happen, Master?
What's wrong, you ask? What's wrong? Someone's stolen the parchment from us. Most likely Godfrey took it and now he has disappeared too. And it's all your fault. Oh, for God's sake. What's going on now?
Isn't there? Gottfried isn't there.